Welcome back to Waiting in Laodicea. I'm your host, A.T. Martinez, and today we're going to be going to 1 Samuel, 3rd chapter. And let's go ahead and see what the Bible has to say, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
1 Samuel 3. Reading from the New King James Version. Samuel's first prophecy. Now the boy Samuel ministered to the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was rare in those days, there was no widespread revelation. And it came to pass at that time, while Eli was lying down in his place, and when his eyes had begun to grow so dim that he could not see, and before the lamp of God went out in the tabernacle of the Lord where the ark of God was, and while Samuel was lying down, that the Lord called Samuel. And he answered, Here I am. So he ran to Eli and said, Here I am, for you called me. And he said, I did not call, lie down again. And he went and lay down. Then the Lord called yet again, Samuel. So Samuel arose and went to Eli, and said, Here I am, for you called me. He answered, I did not call, my son, lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, nor was the word of the Lord yet revealed to him. Continuing in verse 8. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. So he arose and went to Eli, and said, Here I am, for you did call me. Then Eli perceived that the Lord had called the boy. Therefore Eli said to Samuel, Go, lie down, and it shall be, if he calls you, that you must say, Speak, Lord, for your servant hears. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. Now the Lord came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel answered, Speak, for your servant hears. Continuing in verse 11. Then the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I will do something in Israel at which both ears of everyone who hears it will tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all that I have spoken concerning his house, from beginning to end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knows, because his sons made themselves vile, and he did not restrain them. And therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be atoned for by sacrifice or offering forever.
And, okay, now, many of you may have already heard this story. As a matter of fact, it's a children's story that they put in a lot of children's books, at least Christian children's books, and it's always been one of my favorites. As an adult, I got to thinking about this story recently, and I realized a lot of us, we hear the voice, but we go looking elsewhere for the source. We don't listen to the Lord because we don't realize it's God trying to talk to us. We're too busy, and a lot of times we're way too busy to pay attention to the source. Here we have Samuel. He's a little kid, young child, not infant, not even a toddler. He's a young man. He's a boy, working in the temple with the priest Eli. And he hears somebody calling him. Well, obviously it has to be Eli, so he gets up and asks Eli. Eli says, Nope, go back to bed, boy, you're bothering me. Here's the voice again, and it says Samuel. And again, Samuel's like, yeah, I'm up, and runs to Eli. Not Eli. Third time, Eli finally gets it and realizes that's God talking to you. Excuse me. So when he calls you this time, tell him, Here I am, Lord. What? I am listening. And Samuel does, and he gets told, I'm going to follow through on my prophecies to punish Eli's family. The point. When we hear that voice, we need to start being ready to be receptive to the idea that it could be the Lord. When you hear God's call, what do? Do you try to find Eli? Many of us, that is exactly what we've done. We try to find Eli, or we try to see if we can pull a Jonah. let's see if we can get out of this, because I ain't into that. The point is, instead of doing that, turn to him and say, here I am, Lord. Tell me what you want me to do. Because looking for Eli or pulling a Jonah isn't going to get us anywhere. God is going to continue calling until we finally pay attention. When God calls you, are you going to stand up and say, yes, Lord, here I am? That's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. I do know that if you try to pull a Jonah, I've said it before, there's lots of whales in this world. And they're not always comfortable. So, think about it. Pray about it. Listen to the Lord and live your life the way He would like you to. That's the key in all of this. Not living our lives to the way we want, but the way God wants. Sometimes we sit back and think we've laid out this plan of what we want to do with our lives, and God says, no, I want you to do this. But we're like, but I got this great plan. And God's like, I got a bigger plan. I like this one. God says, you need this one. The bottom line is, God's plan is going to happen. What you going to do? Now, as you go through this week, if God's calling you, please listen. This has been A.T. Martinez with Waiting in Laodicea. I hope you enjoyed today's little mini episode on Samuel and children's stories that we can all learn great lessons from. And I hope that in this coming week, you'll listen. Remember, remember to like, subscribe, do all the things you need to do. You know how to contribute if you want to contribute. By this time, you've heard me say it many times. You can become a patron. You can go through the channel, go to the website, www.waitinginlaodicea.weebly.com, and you can find other ways to donate. You can email me at waitinginlaodicea@gmail.com for other ways that you may help out. Remember, anything that you send or want to do to help us would be appreciated. Now, as you go through this week, I hope that God speaks to each and every one of you and tells you all what He would like you to do. Thank you all, and you have a wonderful week.